Everybody's got a price, it's the $1 million man. Podcast in demand. Understand, everybody's got a price. $1 million man. Everybody's got a price. $1 million man. Everybody's got a pod, it's the $1 million man. Podcast in demand. Understand, everybody's got a price. $1 million man. Everybody's got a price.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus D'Angelo, and we are back for another episode of Everybody's Got a Pod. And of course, I could never do it without the man himself, WWE Hall of Famer, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Ted, welcome back to the show. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Marcus. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, man. I know that you have got a hell of a journey ahead of you. You're about to be over there at the Scotland Comic-Con.
Tomorrow tomorrow, right about now, I'm going to be climbing on a plane, and the first plane is going to Houston, which is the opposite direction.
Yep.
And the flight out of Houston goes to I think London, and then from London, no, yeah, out of Houston, London, arrive in Edinburgh. Yes, I arrived there Friday, and I'm there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday I fly back home. Like, where am I going?
Let me say, though, on behalf of fans, I think it's wonderful that you're still out there making all these towns and getting to spend time with fans. It's really cool to see you out doing it. And in fact, Ted, first of all, folks, get out there to the Scotland Comic-Con. Go see Ted. Also, I have to let fans know some big news just came out. You are coming to my neck of the woods. IWC Winner Takes All, featuring the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, right here in the Pittsburgh area. That'll be November 1st, 2025 at Mark's Court Time in Elizabeth, PA. The $1 Million Man is coming to the Pittsburgh area. So, Ted, I've got a wrestling match at this thing. Can I count on you to help me win the match since you're going to be present there?
Well, like I always say, everybody's got a price.
Well, I'll stop at the bank then and go into the building. Make sure that I get the win here. But yeah, man, I'm excited to have you.
Hey, what was that? Didn't I get? He said, "I'll be your Huckleberry."
I'm excited to have you here in Pittsburgh, man. It's going to be fun. And I know that all these Pittsburgh fans are going to be excited to see you. Man, a big return to Pittsburgh, huh?
That would be great.
I can't wait. Winner takes all with IWC. Go and get your tickets now at iwcwrestling.com. So with that out of the way, I do want to talk about our subject today, Ted. It's we're looking back to October and November of 1985. This is 40 years ago now. 1985 was, which is wild. We have been discussing it so far in the lead up to this year, and now this month we're covering some of the biggest stuff that happened to you that year, including a shot at the NWA title against Ric Flair in November. So we're gonna get there, but without any further ado, Ted, you ready to jump into these notes?
Let's do it.
Here we go. We're gonna start here. On October 5th, 1985, you and Doc will defeat Pat Rose and Tony Falk on Midsouth Wrestling TV. And Ted, when I was reading about this, you were described as inexplicably soaking wet before the match even began, which made me laugh when I read it. So I went and found the video and got a still image of it. So there's how you look before the match. You can see your hair is all wet. Kind of looks like you just stepped out of the shower. And whoever wrote the review on it was making me laugh with how they described how wet you were. So look, Ted, I'm in wrestling now, and I know the deal, dude. A lot of guys spray their hair backstage before they go out, or they put oil on their skin before they go out. Is that something that you were doing back in those days?
No.
So why were you soaking wet? You have any recollection?
You know what? I have no idea.
Maybe.
There must have. I mean, of course, that's. You said Doc's in the ring with me.
Yeah, there's Doc in the ring with you, and he's got some wet stuff in his hair.
That's the other thing about, that's a Bill Watts production, and it could be because I had another match.
I know that there were a few matches there.
They would do 3 shows in one night.
Was that tough working 3 matches in one night?
Well, not TV matches.
No?
TV matches are not ever very, very long.
Okay. So they were nice and short and probably didn't take a ton of bumps either, right?
Yeah, just whatever. You got to do what you got to do.
Well, it made me laugh when I saw that picture and heard that description. And it also did make me wonder, Ted, you were never a baby oil guy, right?
Oh no. Uh,
So I'm curious,
well,
the other guy.
and I can't remember who I told. I'm trying to think of that. There was somebody that just used to just cover themselves with that, and I said, look, easy on the baby oil. I want to at least be able to hold on to you tonight.
That's always my fear whenever a dude is putting on oil backstage. I'm wrestling. I'm like, brother, if I pick you up, you might slip right out of my hands.
Yeah.
So on the next episode of Mid-South Wrestling, the mystery woman who's been hanging around with Dick Slater is identified as Dark Journey. Ted, what were your memories of Dark Journey in her arrival in Watts territory?
Not really a whole lot. I mean, I didn't. I saw her at the shows and everything, and she was a nice enough person, but I just don't. I don't know that whole deal, Dark Journey. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't think it's any secret. Rumor has it that Dick Slater met her in a gentleman's club where she was working and befriended her, started a relationship with her, and then she became his valet. Had you ever heard that?
Well, now that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, I can picture Dick Slater.
I hadn't even heard Dick Slater's name in a long time. Dick was a pretty good worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good worker.
And tough as nails, right?
Yep.
So Ted, while we're here, I do have to ask, Bushwhacker Luke, who I do a podcast with on our YouTube channel called Bushwhack, get subscribed to this channel. He revealed on our podcast that Bill Watts ended up selling the territory to the Crockett's in 1987, in part due to being caught having an affair with Dark Journey. Ted, did you ever hear that rumor about Bill Watts?
No.
Never.
Nope.
All right. Interesting.
This is news to me. Who told you that?
Bushwhacker Luke. He was working that territory at the time.
And so, okay, what's the story? I mean, Bill was
sleeping with Dark Journey. Apparently, she had broken up with Dick Slater by then, and apparently she was hanging around the boss a little bit. And I think maybe Bill's wife might have found out, and Bill sold the territory, got out of wrestling for a while.
Wow.
That's the rumor.
You know what? All these years, nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever told me that. Oh my gosh.
I've got Bill Watts right here in the chat. Let's bring him in, ask him. I'm just kidding. That would be crazy though.
But the other thing that I do remember about Bill, and maybe that was a turning point for him, because I know that Bill to this day is a very strong man of faith.
Oh, so you think maybe that being caught like that?
Hey, my story. I mean, same thing.
Yep.
Like I felt like it's kind of like you sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I was in my wife's words, "You stupid idiot."
Man, being a wrestler there's a lot of pressure.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing: it's just like you don't have to go look for trouble.
Yep,
it will literally knock on your door.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you a story or two about that.
Yes, sir.
I'm not making it. There is no excuse.
No.
For me, I mean, the thing that inspired me more than anything is that after my wife found out about me, hey, you're just like all the other guys, I guess, and that I had that I had hurt beyond, more than anybody else could have hurt her. That it was me that hurt her like that. And I was sure she was going to go. And I think I've probably shared this with you. I don't know, privately. I don't know, I may have shared it here, but, when she finally came to me, she said, Dad, I serve a God of restoration, not divorce. And just so you know, I'm not doing this for you because you don't deserve it. She said, but for whatever reason, there's a still small voice in my heart that for whatever reason, I feel God is telling me to give you another chance. She go, I'm not going to promise you anything. And I told her, I said, if you'll give me this chance, I'll become the man you thought you married. I'll become the spiritual leader in my home, and God willing, one day regain your trust and respect. Now, brother, we're going on 45 years.
God bless Mel, and all the wives of wrestling. You know, even on the small scale that my wife has to put up with it. I'm gone a lot. I have to go do wrestling shows, or I'm at a training, or there's something going on. It takes a very, very strong woman, and a strong, especially a woman who's juggling children. It takes a very, very strong woman to be the wife of a wrestler.
No, or any entertainer.
Absolutely. Ted, I do want to mention on this same episode where Dark Journey is revealed, you were going to have a match with a young man by the name of Nick Patrick, and wrestling fans are going to know him best for his time as a referee in both WCW and the WWF. But before he was a ref, he tried his hand in the ring for a while. Also, I should note that his father is Jody Hamilton, who's best known as the Assassin. Ted, I've got to ask, how well did you know the Assassin, Jody Hamilton?
Well, I knew the Assassin. I knew Jody pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he was still very active right when I was starting.
Yes, sir.
So
yeah, he was an old timer by the time he started, but he was still going.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell that you had respect for him because you gave a lot to a young Nick Patrick in this match. Nick Patrick didn't want to live off of his father's name, so he went by the name of Nick Patrick instead of Hamilton. And but you gave a lot to him during this match, and actually I think that somebody came in at the end and ran you off, and he helped them to run you off or something. So really kind of it was cool to see you in this role with a guy who fans know really, really well as a referee, but maybe a lot of fans don't know that he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's not like a big body guy either, so pretty cool that you were able to help the kid out. On the next, what was that?
There were a lot of guys that helped me out, buddy.
You just pay it forward in wrestling, right?
Pay it forward.
On the next episode, you're furious to be given a tag team title shot as the final match of the night because you say that the champions, which are Wendell Cooley and Al Perez, could just run away from you and Doc until the time expires. So instead, they come out fighting, but the result is the same. TV time is going to expire, and the bell sounds, giving you even more reason to be pissed off that you got this shot late in the show. Ted, I love this idea as a storytelling device, and they used it for the TV title in the Crockett's territory so that when a heel like Arn Anderson held the belt, he didn't have to win the match. He just had to not lose in the 10-minute time period that they had for him.
Yeah.
What do you think of that idea as a storytelling device?
I think it's great. If you're a heel, then all you have to do is run for 10 minutes. You just don't let him get a hold of you.
And then what's great is at the end of the match, the babyface can hit their finish, go for the cover. 1, 2, time's up.
Yeah.
It's just like a great way to get heat. Everybody knows you were beat, but you get to leave with the belt anyways.
Yeah.
Well, Ted, you're going to get your revenge on Cooley and Perez the next week in a very weird stipulation. This might be the weirdest stipulation I have ever heard about involved in a wrestling match. It's so weird, I'm not even going to describe it. I've got the clip right now. Let's go ahead and watch it.
Failed to read the fine print of the contract you signed, boys. I told you I was going to embarrass you, humiliate you. If you're so anxious to look like a couple of rock and rollers, baby, that contract said if we beat you, then you got to wear this for 30 days, baby. You see that? You guys aren't wrestlers. You ought to be an aerobics instructor somewhere. So you got your nice little rock and roll aerobics tights. You won't need wrestling shoes. These little booties will do just fine. You lose today, it's all yours, fellas.
Turn the contract over, baby. Turn the contract over and look at the other side. Because if you don't beat us, then you're wearing them for 30 days.
Let me add a little something else, Mr. DiBiase. I don't know how you're going to get your big cans and those things right there. It'd be like trying to put 10 pounds of garbage in a 5-pound sack.
It's going to look mighty funny doing it.
Well, use your own words. Enough said, big boy. Let's get this thing started.
Okay, Ted, easily the weirdest stipulation I've ever seen in pro wrestling. For our listening audience, what happened here was that Ted said that if these guys lose the match, that they have to wear a pair of Nike sneakers, and it looked like leather pants. Ted, pretty weird angle, am I right?
Do what?
Is it a pretty weird stipulation?
Oh, yeah. And I don't know whose idea it was either. That might be a Bill Watts original.
I was going to put the heat on you. I was like, you had to have booked this shit, Ted. It's too weird.
Not my idea.
Man, fascinating idea. Fortunately, Ted, you are going to win the match, and so those guys are going to have to wear the Nikes and the leather pants. Just a bizarre stipulation, and
Yeah.
it doesn't really play into your creative for the rest of the month. It's just that's what happened, and so it's I don't know. Struck me as very odd. I felt like I had to share it. On the November 16th episode of Midsouth Wrestling TV, boy, we've got a big one here. Butch Reed was the #1 contender for Ric Flair's NWA title, but he was injured the week before by Dick Slater and Flair. So, as a result, Ted, you get the spot in the match that fans still talk about today. Before we get to the match, though, something interesting happens here. I've got this review from Adam Nadef of 411 Mania, and this is go and find Adam's stuff online. I use it all the time to do research for Mid-South because he covers it episode by episode. But here's what Adam had to say in this review. Dick Murdoch hits the ring before the bell sounds. He helped Ted get into West Texas State. He helped train DiBiase for wrestling. The right thing to do is to leave and let Murdoch have the title shot. DiBiase makes the case that he's held the North American title so many times that he's entitled to a crack at the big one. And besides, Murdoch is kind of over the hill. And that assessment triggers the fist fight. Murdoch ends up on the floor, and DiBiase, for a moment, appears to have settled that issue, but Flair sneaks up with a knee to the back and sends DiBiase out to the floor. Murdoch rams him into the post, and DiBiase is just gushing blood. Steve Williams hurries to the ring, alarmed at how quickly and drastically his partner got maimed. Flair says it's too bad DiBiase's in no shape to wrestle now. He declares victory by forfeit and takes off. So, Ted, your old pal Dick Murdoch getting involved there and helping to get this whole angle over. Ted, I went and watched this footage, and he's not joking. When he says you were gushing blood, I don't know if you hit that little artery in your forehead whenever you gigged or what.
I was. Yeah, it was.
Yep, you were bleeding buckets, dude.
Yeah, every time my heart beat. Yeah.
Was that
obviously, I didn't mean to do that, but it got over.
I sure did. Was that the first time that you've nicked that little artery whenever you were gigging?
Yeah, obviously.
Were you scared?
Usually it's just like right here, and like right in the middle of your head. But no, you don't want to get up near that artery.
Were you scared at all when you saw that amount of blood?
Not really.
No, you felt like you'd be fine.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I knew they weren't going to let me bleed to death.
It was, as a visual, it was definitely alarming. And as a result of that bloody gusher that you were bleeding, this episode on WWE Network is rated TVMA. So they had to change their usual rating specifically because you nicked that little artery whenever you gigged and got so much color.
Well,
Hey, it got over. Well, look, you might think that marks the end of the title shot, but you'd be wrong. A little later in the program, Bill Watts has a few words, and we're going to drop in to hear them right now.
Room at the Irish McNeil Boys Club. They're ministering to Ted DiBiase. He is badly lacerated on the forehead. There is arterial damage. There's a problem stopping the blood flow. They're applying a pressure bandage and wrapping it very tightly. Ted DiBiase has demanded that he be able to have this world's title match with Ric Flair. He said he has waited long enough. It's taken him a year to get this bout. Some men never get the bout. And he's afraid Ric Flair will use this as an excuse not to defend that title against him. You know, I remember I was at the Superdome when Roberto Duran fought Sugar Ray Leonard. He quit because he had a stomach ache, and it turned my stomach, because I think when you have a world's title bout, you go no matter what. You don't have a few extra days of training or anything else. When the time comes, you got to go. And that's how Ted DiBiase feels, and I respect him for that feeling. So we are going to let him wrestle Ric Flair for the world's title. Grizzly Smith has already gone down to inform Joel and Jim at the desk. But I do want to warn you, there is a pressure bandage applied, but there is arterial damage. If that bandage comes loose, it could get very gory. Therefore, use parental discretion about letting your children watch, or if you have a weak stomach, you may not want to watch this bout, because coming up next, and we're not going to stop it for blood, it's going to go. The world's title is at stake. Ric Flair defending against Ted DiBiase. Now let's go to Jim and Joe.
Okay, there you have it. A nice little word from Bill Watts there. And Bill, before this is, you talk all the time about what a smart wrestling mind Bill Watts is.
Yeah.
Before the match even hits the ring, Bill is telling fans with that promo exactly who they should be booing for and who they should be cheering for. Ted, what did you think of that?
It was great. It was good. I mean, Bill had he was, in my opinion, one of the best minds ever in wrestling. I mean, and the fact that I got to start my career working for him, I didn't realize how good I had it, because even though I was on the opening match every night, I mean, that's where you start. You're the first match on the card. All the talent that Bill brought into that territory, I got exposed to. So I got exposed to, I mean, not just once in a while, almost every night. I'm getting exposure with guys that can go. Ronnie Garvin, oh my gosh. I mean, it goes on and on,
Yep. Killer Carl Cox.
Carl Cox, Dick Murdoch, Bob Sweetan.
Yep.
Bob Sweetan, as a person was, it's kind of like not a very nice guy. I mean, he didn't, just some of his habits, but you put him in the ring and he could go.
Hell of a heel.
Hell of a heel.
In real life and on screen. Speaking of being a heel, this babyface for you this babyface turn for you, which is clearly what Bill Watts is doing here. It's interesting. It's interesting timing, because we spoke last month about it a little bit, how you beat up Bob Sweetan, who's a hated heel. But between now and then, however, Bill has continued to feature you as this antagonistic heel on his TV program. Did you feel like this was the right time to change you over to babyface, or how did you feel about doing a babyface turn here in late '85?
Hey, you know what? Whatever works, it's kind of like, it was a little refreshing, because, back then, if you were a heel, man, you had to be careful. I mean, because people took their wrestling serious. Here's the thing. If you're a really, really, really hated heel, brother, when you turn babyface, they're going to love you even more. And I would almost say the same thing about being a great babyface and turning heel. They're going to hate you more.
Man, it's cool to watch all this stuff back and see you in real time go from, I mean, literally an episode ago, everybody hated your guts, and now they're chanting Teddy during your match with Ric Flair. And we're gonna watch that clip here in a minute. But I do have to ask, Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion, the dirtiest player in the game, all the shit that they say about Ric Flair. Would you think that he at this time is the perfect guy to start you off as a babyface?
Yeah, I don't know why not. I mean, here's a guy who's, world champion and a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to wrestle him and him being the champion, and obviously he gives me a match where, it's like I almost win, but then I don't. What better way to start off being a babyface again than almost beating the world champion?
It's phenomenal. And again, that clip is coming here in a moment. I got one more question before we get there. The thing that's really cool about this angle to me is that it's grounded in reality. By the way, as I was doing research for this, I was seeing where lots and lots of fans online are saying that this angle is the greatest angle in the history of Mid-South Wrestling. 40 years ago, November 1985. This angle, this one night between you and Ric Flair and all the shit that went down, between you getting injured, then you coming back and fighting through all this blood to have a shot at the NWA title. The thing that's really cool though is that, again, is grounded in reality. Dick Murdoch was saying stuff that was real. He was saying how he brought you into the business, he helped to train you, and as a result he felt like he was the one who was owed this title shot. You said no, and it resulted in you getting beat up. I mean,
it's like I remember I said, hey Dick, I appreciate everything you did for me, but you had your shot, it's my turn.
Yep. And it was just such a great angle. It had to have meant a lot to you to have Dick Murdoch involved in this big storyline, right?
Sure.
Man, it's cool, and I've teased it enough. We're going to watch back the final moments of it. Folks, this video is available in full online. You can obviously turn to Peacock and WWE Network to go and find it. However, hypothetically, if you were to type in November 16th, 1985, Mid-South Wrestling, I think you'd probably find it pretty easily online. But all right, this one's a bloodbath. Here we go. We're going to check out the final moments of it.
He's going to the top. He is. I bet you he's trying to get a disqualification intentionally. But DiBiase reverses it. DiBiase caught it.
And that may have took it all out of DiBiase. DiBiase going for the elbow. You know, it's a little slow getting there, but what else could it be? DiBiase has given it his all in Flair. What a battle here on Mid-South Wrestling.
What an effort. Both of these men covered in credit. Power slam. DiBiase headed to power slam. We got a new world champ. No, but
he can't cover him. DiBiase didn't have enough strength to even grab the leg. What a maneuver by Ted DiBiase. It should have been enough from the 1, 2, 3. DiBiase didn't have enough left to even top the man.
DiBiase sets up for the... He catches the knee of Flair, and he's setting up for the figure four. Yes, we're seeing it. The two greatest masters of the figure four in wrestling tied up in it. But Flair is right there in the ropes.
It might have been the one maneuver that DiBiase could actually capitalize on. But Flair's in the ropes. The referee's got to break it. If Flair would have been in the center of the ring, I guarantee you would have had a new world champion.
DiBiase gets the leg and he pulls him up. He hoists him up and he's set for that spinning toe hold. And he goes to the figure four, but no! Flair kicks him out over the top rope. And DiBiase's on the floor. He is on the floor. He sustained quite a fall into those steel ring barricades. Neely with the count. DiBiase's down on the floor. Come on, Ted.
Listen to the crowd.
I never thought I'd see it.
Listen to the crowd.
I never thought I'd see it. All these people are behind DiBiase. What an effort.
Can he get up? Can DiBiase get up? The biggest match of his life. He's lost so much blood, and that's it. That's a 10 count. Ted DiBiase. What a tremendous effort by Ted DiBiase. But the winner of the match by a count.
Wait a minute. Dick Murdoch. Dick Murdoch is at ringside. Is he going to help his... After what? No!
Oh, no, Murdoch, no! Come on, Murdoch!
No! DiBiase's trying instinctively. I bet he doesn't even know who's hitting him. The match is over, and Murdoch is applying the punishment. He's hammering everybody.
No. Not. Oh, my. Good grief. My God, he spray busted him on the concrete.
Holy shit, man. 40 years later.
That's when, and the other thing, too, I mean, and everybody knew the story about me and Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, basically him breaking me. And I mean, he tells the story himself.
Yep.
I'll break you in, kid. Da, 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 you know, this match should be my match. This is what, you know, and I said, Dick, I love you, buddy. But hey, you had your shot. It's my turn.
Yep.
So anyway.
And so he turns on you. He was a baby face up to that point. So it's a double turn, really. It's your turning baby. He's turning heel. Just an absolute blast to watch this. Ted, what did you think watching back the end of it all these years later?
What's that?
What did you think watching back the end of it all these years later?
Oh, it was great television. And again, I give a lot of credit to Bill Watts. I mean, I know Jake just hates his guts, but
he pulled off a double turn, which is not always easy to do in wrestling, right?
What's that? He
pulled off a double turn. Murdoch turned babyface.
Yeah.
Murdoch turned heel. You turned babyface. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Ted, would you consider this match one of the greatest matches of your career? This match with Ric Flair?
I guess it would be up there somewhere, but I mean, it was TV. So I mean, when I think about great matches, I've had several hour-long Broadways. Where it's kind of like, the bell rings and it's over, but nobody wants to leave.
Yep.
So, I think I've had some other matches that, might top that, but no, for what it was great.
Last question. We're wrapping this one up, brother. You took a brainbuster on the concrete on the outside. Now, obviously, Dick Murdoch went down to his ass and then kind of rolled so that your head's not going to make any contact. However, I know that me personally, if somebody called a brainbuster on concrete, I would be like, I don't know, brother. I don't know if I want to take that. How'd you feel about it?
Well, no, hey, I trust Murdoch.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best. So I knew, I mean, my head was never going to hit that ground, because he's protecting my head, really.
Yep. Yeah, you were well protected. Boy, being upside down that high up above the ground with nothing but concrete there, though, a little unnerving.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, good on you, Ted. It helped to really get the full angle over, and we're going to continue to talk about 1985 here in the coming months. We'll wrap it up in December here, talking about December of 85. But man, 40 years ago, one of the greatest televised matches of your career against Ric Flair. Hey, look, it was a pleasure to get to watch this back with you, my friend, and I look forward to chatting with you again next week.
All right, buddy. Take care. And hey, and are you kidding? How could I forget that? And how could any of you people out there? So always remember this, that everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Yeah.
See you guys next time on Everybody's Got a Pod.